Today's sponsor of the Vision Quest podcast is 920 Hat Company. Leather patch hats are in, and 920 Hat Company is here to hook you up with your very own custom hat. All patches are lasered on top-grade genuine leather and on popular brand hats like Richardson and FlexFit. Whether you're looking to show off your business or want a one-of-a-kind hat for yourself, 920 Hat Company can do it all. All the hats are handcrafted right in the Fox Valley, but worn across America. With over 500 hats in stock, they guarantee fast turnaround times. Honestly, Liam, looking at these hats, solid, right?
Yeah, they're pretty. I like them.
I like that patch itself.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, one-of-a-kind stuff. I know his name's Trevor. He does great work. He's actually gotten I think we got a knit hat coming.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, we got that coming. So we're really excited to have these guys on board as a sponsor. So get down to check them out on Facebook. I believe they're on Instagram. Check them out, man. They got the best hats, I think, in the Fox Valley, if not in the state.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So get down to 920 Hat Company on social media and check them out. All right, man. So we finally got connected. We had some issues. We're dealing with some connection errors here, which I never, ever have issues with usually. But I'm here today with Appleton Norse, Division I, 152-pound state champion. Can you hear the music, Jake? That's fine. You'll hear it when your parents listen or whatever. But we got Jake Stoffel here with us, man. It's cool to have you on. How you doing?
Doing great. How are you?
Staying alive, man. I'm just trying to obviously get technology figured out because I'm some old fart who doesn't know how to do things, apparently. Yeah. Hey, speak up a little closer to your phone. You're hard to hear. Make sure everybody can hear you because you're kind of jumping in and out to a sound. So make sure nothing's plugged up. But so you won a state championship, right? It's your junior year too, right?
Correct. Yep.
Nice. Okay, so your junior year. So let's talk a little bit more about you here as far as starting out with wrestling. You don't come from an athletic family at all, do you?
For the most part, my dad, he wrestled in high school.
Yeah.
He didn't really go to college or nothing for wrestling, but my sister plays D1 volleyball. My brother, obviously, he has a liver condition, so had to stop doing sports his freshman year. So that happened. But then you got me and my little sister. My little sister does Irish dance, so I feel like my immediate family is athletic.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say the above is athletic.
That's all right. You're surrounded by athletes. Your dad, your siblings. I mean, everything. So it's really fun to have been around you guys for so long and watching you grow up, and even like just your parents posting stuff up on Facebook about your sister, seeing her doing really well in dance. So it's really cool. You guys have an interesting dynamic. I mean, you guys got to be all over the place. It's got to be hustle and bustle around the house come sports time, huh?
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, Nora, my little sister, she's always going with Irish dance. It's nonstop. It's all year round. She never has a break. She has ins and out. But then you got my sister who plays college volleyball, and she's the same way. We have her stuff in the same time. I kind of have some of my stuff and Nora's stuff. So it's so crazy. We're all over the place. We're in Milwaukee, Madison, Green Bay, all over the place.
Awesome. So when did you start wrestling? Did you start kindergarten, 4 years old, 5? When did you start?
So I started when I was 3 years old.
Oh.
My dad was the head coach of Appleton East, and he kind of threw me in, and it was kind of like the stereotypical, like, dad just throwing him into wrestling because he did it in high school and wanted to see how it is. And I just fell in love with wrestling, and obviously I'm still going to do it and continue to do it.
How could you not fall in love with it? I mean, nothing against, I obviously knew Price went to Appleton East, so nothing against Appleton East, but I mean, hey, as a little guy coming up, it's all right to wrestle at Appleton East, kind of get some practicing, get thrown around by some big guys, and have your dad as an experience. But here's the thing, though, too, is your dad, as far as a coach. I mean, I don't think I knew of any other coach that was really, I guess, more hands-on than your dad, as far as what you have going on and the goals that you had and stuff like that. So, as you started kind of growing up a little bit more, getting into like 7, 8 years old or whatnot. Were you having kind of talks and stuff like that? They're like, I really like this. This is something I want to do. Or were you like hooked at like 6 and you're like, I want to wrestle forever, like as a little guy? Like, when did you guys kind of, I guess, have that bond and realize that this was something that you guys had together kind of thing? That's kind of a special thing,
Yeah. I mean, I I kind of chose my decision to quit all our sports was 6th grade.
Okay.
That's when my choice was. But we kind of up to that, it was like 4th, 5th grade. I was kind of having that talk where it's like I was driving up to Max's Academy up in Mequon or down in Mequon 3 days a week. That's an hour and a half drive. and so like 3 days a week, parents switching back and forth each drive. And it was crazy. And that's when we were like, okay, we gotta choose and kind of stick to one sport. And obviously being a 3-sport athlete, 2-sport athlete is great.
Yeah.
But if you can stick to this sport and love it and be great at it and continue to do it after your high school, maybe college life, like that's great. And give back to others. That's kind of my big thing is after college and stuff, I want to give back. And because I have free knowledge that I've gained from my coaches and from my family and everything. And I'd love to give it back to others. So.
You're a smart kid. So as you started wrestling and we always talk about, you hear people talking about success or things like that. And that always comes later on. You always got to put a lot of work in, but what were, I guess, some of the biggest memories you have from when you can remember of wrestling? Like what really kind of sticks out in your mind that maybe made that decision for you? That was like, I really like this. Was it winning a tournament? What really kind of grabbed you with wrestling? Was it the practice room and sweating and being with the guys, that kind of thing, and grinding it out? What really grabbed you about wrestling?
I think it was definitely the people in the room. AWA has such a good environment, and it's just grown on me since I was a little kid. Having obviously my first friend at AWA, he introduced me like the first day. Wyatt Duchateau, he was the first one that popped in, and he was the first one to say something to me, and then we grew a pretty good connection. And obviously we're in high school now, so we're far away, but we still talk once in a while. But yeah, he was the first one. And then it kind of like I said, that 4th, 5th grade, when I was just like, okay, this environment is so good. I love what I'm doing, and I got to continue and be the best I can.
That's awesome. So it's really just kind of gaining those friendships and kind of bonds and stuff like that you kind of getting through the room, and that helps you through a day. I can only imagine there's certain days when you're having a hard time in practice room, things like that, and you got guys you can lean on. That's really important. So as you started kind of going along, as you getting into, you're kind of done with maybe not done with or grade school, but kind of getting into the grade school, middle school kind of section. Were you feeling competitive? When did you feel like you're like, I really kind of got this? I feel natural doing this, and like success, you kind of maybe your own success in your head.
Yeah, that obviously like that 6th grade going into middle school, I won my first youth state title. Doesn't mean much, obviously, but youth state titles.
Don't tell the kids that, 7th Jake.
Grade. So that's what that's kind of like the first thing I like had real success and felt accomplished, and I was so happy after that. And then that's when you think like, oh, now I got to win a high school state title or multiple, and that's obviously what I'm going for now.
Yeah. So. Yeah. And that's the coolest part. So I'm pretty sure we were around you a little more like around the 6th grade area. I don't remember you too much from grade school, but I remember seeing you guys as far as, working, and you guys came into Aviators once in a while. And I think once we kind of started going in there, you guys were kind of gone. That's when your dad kind of mentioned AWA to me and stuff. But when you guys really start, you got your state championship, things like that, things really start to kind of click together for you. Were you, I have a lot of questions, especially with having a coach for a dad. It's kind of different. Not every kid has that, So what did you see as, you were a kid, your dad has a little more, did you see your dad pulling back a little bit more once middle school came around as far as, hey, he's got guys I could trust in here? Well, how was that dynamic? Like, did it were there days where you're like, I really don't need a coach dad, I need a dad, or, that kind of thing?
Yeah. So I'm going to go back to that, like middle school, middle school, elementary school. That's when I kind of like had like the talk with my dad, because obviously 8th grade I moved to the Appleton North side. Obviously I'm still in the same district, but moved to Appleton North because Scott Clough, he's an amazing dude. He's my favorite coach ever. And he had a good program going for him. And my dad obviously was the head coach at East, and we kind of had that talk where it's like, okay, Dad, like even going up to AWA, like I'm totally fine. You're good if you want to go in, but like I'm going to practice, and that's what I'm going to get better. And going into my private lessons, Josh really wanted me and him. And then my dad would kind of push me a little bit. And now my dad's in the high school room. Obviously he's assistant coach at North. Yeah. But now it's like, he doesn't coach me one bit. He kind of knows, like, he knows I have like he's told me this. I know I have a lot more knowledge than him. So it's like he gives me tips here and there, and I use them once in a while. It's kind of
sure.
He shows me some tricky things from when he wrestled or like
back in the day
old moves and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And now he kind of just there to help other wrestlers and help the varsity team and the JV team get better. Yeah, he obviously yells during my matches, but it's a wrestler's brain is so weird because you're so dialed in on the match while like only being able to hear the coaches, which is crazy to me. I don't know how the brain works like that, but yeah.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned that because a lot of guys say that sometimes they don't hear anything, like they don't, it's some guys, not every guy, but they say, it's the crowd, you're just in your own thoughts when you're wrestling kind of thing. So that's interesting. They're actually able to kind of separate that out to be able to hear Coach Clough or whoever in the corner. Now, your dad could be watching track and he could be outside by the bathrooms. You're going to hear your dad yelling if he yells something because that's the kind of voice he's got. I know because I'm the same way. I yell just as loud as he does. So it's kind of interesting because, like I said, he's really into it, what you got going on because he's so involved in it. So I was just kind of interested to see how that dynamic worked out as far as, and him and I talk a lot. So he tells me what he does kind of thing, but it's interesting to hear it from your side. So with the dynamic that you guys have as a family, was there a lot of times where mom and sisters were over here and then you guys were over here with dad at a wrestling tournament kind of thing? And then would they flip flop or was dad always just wrestling?
No, they definitely would flip flop. It's always back and forth, especially with practice going down to Max's before Josh's up in Green Bay was available for me. It was just a big switching. Like mom would go this day, dad would go this day, or if mom went 2 days in a row, dad would go 2 days in a row.
Yeah.
Like if I went to Iowa with my mom, I'd go to Illinois with my mom or dad or whatever. So it's switching back and forth.
It's interesting. Yeah. That's cool. So, so when you started kind of, especially now getting into the high school area, when you got into high school, did you really feel that you like, this is my moment, freshman year, sophomore year, I want to do this kind of thing. And life's full of disappointments. We all know that, but whether it's a match and just a regular match, or even if it's at practice, Christ, even Liam felt it this year, it's one of those things where you guys have expectations of yourself. What did that feel like your freshman year for you? What was that like? You had expectations, whether or not you played the scenarios in your head of this could happen. If I wrestle this guy, this could happen. With the expectations you had on yourself, how was your freshman year? How did that end for you?
Obviously, my goal was to be a state champ. That's always, of course, always the goal. But obviously I didn't, we had the super sectionals. We were in Mass. We had the super sectionals, and I fell short to Tyler Klein, but obviously that's in the past.
Yep.
Well, I didn't make it state with the eight man going to state, but that's all right. And my goals were just to be a state champ and work as hard as I can. I was in there 8th grade with Michael Smith. When I was in 8th grade, he was a junior. I was working with him, and I was having really close matches with him. It was like 50-50 my freshman year, and I was a little bit lighter than him. So it's like that gives you a little bit of motivation. And then I hopped in my freshman year, not going to school, having just practice with Michael all year round. It helped a bunch, but I fell short, and things happen, obviously. So
well, and honestly, I'm a little more comfortable talking to you about the losses like that after you won a state championship, so it's a little easier to talk about. But with that being said, so your freshman year, now it's not like I got to rebuild, but what your focus turns a little bit more into your sophomore year, right? Because now you're like, I know I can do this. Watching you wrestle, it's just one of those things where, again, with Liam, I can only equate to that. Like watching him wrestle, it's like, oh, that was so close right there. How was your sophomore year's culmination as far as, how you felt your progression went? Because it seems to be a big thing. And we listen to it all the time, but now seeing it, that progression going into that postseason, that's 5 weeks of hell. That's rough. So, your freshman year, you went through it. Now your sophomore year, kind of what the drill is. Did you find yourself leveling up a little bit your sophomore year coming around and really kind of figuring out how you want to do things and kind of accomplish things?
Yeah, 100%. For me, at least, my sophomore year was a great experience.
Yeah.
I had so much fun. It was so much fun looking how I was in the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
Like obviously, not even placing at Fargo, just going 1 and 2 at Fargo was not fun at all.
Hurts.
and then going into the high school season and just seeing the little progression, and obviously you're grinding in the middle, in the beginning, and then get to the end of the season, it lays back a little bit because obviously you don't want to get hurt and you don't want to. But then we got to the state tournament, and I had the same goal. I made it to the semis, had Kellen Auer from Menominee, and first period didn't go my way, and I kind of fell off there. But obviously, I have fun. That's all. Yeah. That's all that matters. I have fun. So,
and that's the biggest thing. So like, and it's interesting because it's not every kid that has that view. I mean, they probably do once they let the dust settle a little bit, but it doesn't seem like, and just watching you over the years, yes, losses bother a lot of people. You know, I mean, even as me, as a, I guess, former athlete, those killed me every single time, but you seem to be able to bounce back a little better than most. I'm not going to say better than everyone, but a little better than most. And I guess I want to equate it to, you know, having your dad being a coach, you know, and having him see other kids go through the process of that is, I mean, that's a huge advantage. Did you find yourself in those moments really going to dad as far as, hey, this sucks, or what he understood and just came to you and knew?
Yeah. So my dad, obviously, he kind of, like my sophomore year, obviously he's pushed back quite a bit, and he kind of like let me feel it out. I have a mental mindset coach that I work with. So he's the first one I went to.
Okay.
He's the one I go to right away if there's any like mentality stuff. Cause obviously my semis, I got injured in the first period, but that was a hard bounce back because I had wrestled 2 more matches. It was either the mental of, medical forfeiting, get 6th place, or do I wrestle and basically die trying and try to get third place, or do 6th place, get on the bottom of the podium. So that's kind of like, I go to my mental mindset coach, then I go to my parents, or I go to my coaches, then I go to my parents. So it's kind of, there's kind of like a trickle effect where it's like, okay, this guy deals with my mental, my parents deal with my body, like how all food and stuff like that, and then my coaches work with all my technique and my mental. But it's all like, I feel like my coaches, my parents, my mental mindset coach, we all have such a close connection where we can all kind of blend each thing together and kind of have a good like order and kind of make me the best person I can be.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, that's having a game plan like that's perfect. And that's kind of, I think a lot of the guys that are successful have that. That's kind of where we're at with Liam too, you know, as far as I don't deal with that side anymore, you know, like when he was little, I trust the coaching staff enough where it's like, here you go. So it's the same thing here. We deal with the meal plans. We're dealing with making sure that he gets places on time, things like that. And I deal with the mental side. So I know you guys deal with mental mindset with like Mike and those guys that are over there, and those guys, great crew, great guys. And I know a couple other guys that work with them. It helped them a lot. So it's important, and I really think it's mature of you guys to understand that it works like that, and that you are able to take it and kind of layer it. You know, like you said, you got your coaches, you got your parents, then you got probably your friends and your fellow wrestlers to kind of talk about things. So it's pretty cool to have that. I played soccer and have a lot of that. So when you kind of, especially on your team now, like with Appleton North, you find yourself now your junior year. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a second, but you find yourself maybe able to, I guess, give the guys on your team a little insight as far as, hey, don't worry about this. Don't worry about, you know, with the young guys and the freshmen coming up. And do you see you get to see that progress with those guys, maybe a little bit mentally? You see a lot of that on the team happening. You got some good guys on there, man.
Yeah, we have my practice partner, at least. It was good to see him progress. And like letting him know, like, okay, you can check the bracket once, but it's like, there's no need to look at the rest of the bracket.
Not at all.
And things like that. And it's like, you can like help these guys so much. And it was cool to just be in there and kind of be that leader with Brock Arndt. Obviously he's more of like a loud guy where he's like the motivation.
Is he?
Where I'm kind of like,
wow.
Yeah. Where I'm kind of like the like quieter guy who like gives you like deep insight, where it's like, he's more of like, boom, let's get going. And he's great where we have that balance too. And that's another thing with balance. It's like, if you have that good balance and we can see a good team, we just need the athletes in there, and we need hard work and all the work ethic in the room. So
you definitely have your roles defined as far as what guys are and who and where their place is on the team. That's important too. I mean, otherwise you just got willy-nilly stuff going on. Who's your practice partner?
Mohammed.
Well, give him a shout out, man. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, let's kind of dive into your senior or your junior year here. So you start out the year out, right? So you had good turnout at Fargo, did really good at Fargo, and then now you come into the regular season. Did you go out to Super 32 or anything like that? Were you out there?
Yeah, I was at Super 32.
How'd you do?
I think it went 3-2.
Okay.
Which
hey,
the
dude,
best result, but obviously
that's a tough tournament, man. Liam's been going there for 3 years, man. That's a tough tournament. You start wrestling the high school brackets. That's no joke. So you started out Super 32. I mean, I was tough tournament. You can't really base your, what I got going on the season off of that. So you're just putting some work in. What were some other tournaments preseason that you went to? Preseason nationals, I take it, in Iowa?
No, I didn't. So I didn't go to any preseason like before that. So all I went to was Fargo Super 32 because I just wanted to feel out the big national competition and see how that would plan out and kind of progress. So then I got into the high school season and we'll get into that. Yeah, that's kind of what my plan was, and just get to I placed at Fargo, wanted to see how I could do with basically it's like a super Fargo, I would like to say.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's basically both age groups, and you kind of just boom, you're in a big bracket and go with a lot of tough wrestlers. So,
and obviously my mentality is still on that youth, like wrestling circuit where we would hit like 50,000 tournaments in a year and try and, crunch everything in. So and obviously we're realizing that now. Liam kind of asked at the end of individual state. He's like, I don't have anything else after team state, right? I was like, what do you mean? He's like, no, there's no tournaments or nothing, right? And I'm like, no. He goes, oh my God, I need a break. I was like, I can believe it after watching, now seeing that transition into that 5-week period of tournament time. You guys go through hell, man. So you get into your junior year, you guys start the season out. You're going to start out strong. What was your game plan? I mean, there's everybody walking around the room. Hey, and Liam was one of them. You going this way? What way do you go? And you going this way? All the kids trying to figure it out. Did you kind of have it figured out already in the beginning of the year, what you really wanted to do, and kind of had that plotted out in your head already?
Yeah, 100%. I had it plotted out. I mean, I kind of knew what I was going to do, and I stuck to it, and obviously the result showed, but the past 2 years, my freshman and sophomore year, I had a plan for weight wise. I had a plan, stuck to it, and that's what I'm going to go with. I don't care who I'm going to wrestle, where kids are. Obviously there are some people that do that or things like that.
Balance it out.
I just kind of have a plan, just to boom, go here, and stick with it.
Yep. And that's a great mentality. And your dad and I talk about that a lot because, I mean, we did the same thing with Liam. It wasn't, we weren't going to or running from any, going to any, doing any. We're just staying here. It's where you were comfortable. It was what made sense to you. And that's what we were doing. And it was funny because I mentioned your dad because a lot of guys are at 160, dropped to 152. And I hope your dad didn't get mad at me. I was like, why is everybody running from 160? He goes, well, Jake, I was like, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, it just seems like everybody was here and now they're gone. It's like, it's vacant lot, So you guys had a game plan though. And that's really good to see that you guys are able to take that and stick with it because so many things can happen in a season, where you're just like, now we got to do this. And then you got to change it up. And now, you don't want to do that. So you guys stuck to it and that's awesome. Well, and like you said, it paid off. So you already know going into the tournament series, pretty much who you're going to be wrestling, and you wrestle them for 5 weeks straight. So, and then you're in the practice room with them. So this is an interesting dynamic that we didn't run into as kids. Like when I was a kid, me and your dad, how was that going into every single week and then going into practice and hey, Carson Otis, what's up, dude? He's a good wrestler. So what was that kind of like as guys going back and forth for 5 weeks? You taking the edge every time, but what was that? Just kind of explain to some people how that goes, especially with you guys now as kids, elite athletes. You guys are higher level, dudes doing stuff. How does that dynamic work out with you guys?
So Carson and I were totally chill. We're great buddies. We practice in the practice room and stuff, and we still have good relationship. Like nothing bad. Like some other things, like if you look in college, like RBY to Santos, that's probably not a very good relationship. but then like for me and him is as kind of like the first match we wrestled. I mean I won all of them, but the first match we wrestled, that was the toughest one.
Yeah.
Obviously it's the first. You don't really know exactly what you guys do, so it's kind of like feeling each other out yet.
Yep.
But then it was just, you know, that you're gonna have the same person week by week.
Yeah.
And like I knew if I beat him at sectionals,
yep,
I would have him in the state semis. So it's kind of that thing where it's like, here we go again. So it's like you just gotta kind of change your game plan up a little bit, and if the same things working, and just kind of stick to it. But otherwise, it was.
Did you guys try messing with each other? I'm gonna do this match. I'm gonna try this. Watch this kind of thing. Did you guys just try messing with each other a little bit?
No. we always just went in there raw and just.
I really appreciate the fact, you know how you see those brothers do that once in a while, or like best buddies, and they like go in the match, they do like this handshake and they fall over or something. I'm really glad you guys did do that, because that would have sucked. I would not have liked that.
Yeah.
It was good to see you guys wrestle, because you guys are good wrestlers. So it was fun to watch you guys compete together. So going into you know, we won't even talk about conferences. That's really not that important. But going into regionals, what was your mindset? I mean, it wasn't just Otis that you had to wrestle. What was your mindset? You just had this goal kind of thing, just stay steady in what I'm doing, keep the pace kind of thing, and just do my thing. And that was it, huh?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's every match. It doesn't matter if it's a small tournament, big tournament. Every match is the same. It's always just another tournament, just another duel, just another match. I've wrestled, I'd say, almost thousands of them. It's crazy how many you wrestle, and it's like
a lot.
It's just like, okay, this is another match. I just got to do my thing.
Yeah.
Stick to what I love to do, top, bottom, neutral, and stick to it. Be the better wrestler, make less mistakes, and at the end of the day, win, lose, draw. You just got to do what you got to do.
So have you talked to any? We're coming towards the end of your high school career here. So have you had interest popping up? I mean, I don't pay attention a lot to you kids. I like some stuff, but there's a lot of stuff I miss. What kind of colleges are you looking at? Do you have ideas of what you like?
Yeah, I definitely have some schools in mind. I've been talking to some.
Cool.
I'm not gonna say specifics, but that's kind of my. I'm gonna go into the college region and wrestle for, I'd say, 5 to 6 years and kind of progress. So yeah. So
college wrestling is the goal. It is the goal. We haven't heard it from you, and that's when you don't need to. You don't do that yet, because I'm not into that whole early release thing. It's a kind of a jinx almost. So you have that in mind. So now going into your senior year, because this was a big question that we actually kind of asked amongst the dads. Going into your senior year, now let's say, and college coaches have a different idea of what they want you to do and things like that. And your dad's probably heard some stuff. So going into your senior year, and let's say you make your pick and you know where you want to go. Are you going to still strive for Fargo accomplishments? Are you going to strive for some of those after high school season accomplishments? Feel like you still want to do that, or are you just kind of, obviously, I mean, it's a big question. It's a loaded question. Is that something that you guys have talked about or heard about as far as the seniors coming up doing? They're not too worried about that I'm committed kind of thing. Have you guys talked about that at all?
A little bit, not too much, but
sure.
It's kind of just like what you and that specific school wants for you. And like I know Clayton Whiting, I believe he went out really early to Mizzou.
Yep.
And kind of went through that and didn't do any postseason competition. So if that's the case and I got to do that, I'll do it. I'll jump into college right away.
Right.
And I'll be 17 years old in college, but
ooh, snap, buddy. All right. You're a young guy just like Liam, man. When's your birthday?
My birthday is in August, and I'm 06, so I'm really young.
Holy cow. Yeah. I think you're actually went up lower than Liam, because he's a May baby. So yeah, I think you're a little bit younger. That's crazy. So yeah, I'm excited to watch you go. I mean, it's really been fun watching you since, little, Baby Eaters Room all the way AWA. It's fun watching you wrestle with Liam. You guys get to practice finally, now that you're the same size, you're not bigger than him anymore. So it's fun to see you guys really growing and kind of putting it out there. What are some of you, do you have any special goals that you're trying to reach this year that are just goals that you want to do? And if they don't happen, you're not going to be too upset. What, do you have a little thing like I don't know, I want to try and hit this year, my senior year, and see if I can do that or win this one. Is there something that you're trying to grab for that you haven't gotten yet?
Yeah. So I'm going to World Team Trials in April, I believe. Ooh. And that's a big one that I want to place at, or even if I make a world team, that's the goal, obviously.
Yeah.
Is to make the world team. But if I place at that's
huge.
A big one.
Yeah. So you're heading out to Vegas.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll see you out there, man. I'm taking Liam. He's gonna be in U15.
Nice.
Yeah. So I just saw too. He's like the second to last weight class that's on there too, as far as his weight group. He'll be like one of the bigger kids of that age group. So it's kind of fun. So what do you kind of have an idea what weight you want to wrestle at out there?
I don't know what kg it is.
So it's 165 is the 78 kilogram, I think it is, if I remember correctly.
So I think I'm 74 kg.
Yeah, I think so. You guys change a little bit in your age group. Yeah, I think you have one that's lower. So that'd be like 163 or something, 162. So
or something like that. Yeah.
Go out comfortable, not cutting a ton, stuff like that, and just go relaxed.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, well, we'll see you out there because I think we might bring Peters with us. Might bring Petey. Nice. Yeah, so we'll have a nice little crew out there. But yeah, man, hey, good luck out there. I've been running you for a half hour, man. I know you got school to get ready for and get to. We had some scrambling here with some technology stuff, but I really appreciate you coming on, man. Everybody just kind of maybe jumped in or catch the end. This is Jake Stoffel, 152-pound D1 champion from Appleton North. Congratulations. You did it. Now you're going to go for number 2. I know you're going for number 2. You'll get it. I don't doubt you'll get it. So we're going to end it on that. I'm going to start the music up here, and then we'll let people know that we're done. But you have a good rest of your day, dude. Have a good day at school.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, not a problem, man. And hey, maybe we'll be talking to you. I don't care. We'll still talk to you at the end of the next season.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll talk to you after the U.S. Open. Maybe we'll get a bunch of you guys together and just talk about the U.S. Open. But
that'd be awesome.
Appreciate you being here, dude. All right, man. We'll talk to you later.
See ya.
Yeah. All of our episodes are brought to you by Appleton Tattoo, located at 117 South Appleton Street in Appleton, Wisconsin, right off the main drag on College Avenue. You can't miss them. I've had some work done. I have a Celtic cross that covers my back that was done by Jason. We're not done yet. Jason Winans and crew, the artists that he have there, those guys are the best in the Fox Valley. They are definitely one to go to if it's something that you've just been kind of throwing around. They'll make you feel comfortable. It's a very clean environment, very nice crew, and very willing to get done whatever you need done when you need it done. You can message them on Facebook. I know they're on Facebook. You can give them a call at 920-604-8289 and get in touch with Jason Winans and crew at Appleton Tattoo, located again in Appleton, Wisconsin at 117 South Appleton Street, right in Appleton. Very flexible hours, great crew, clean environment again. I would not send you anywhere else except for these guys. Appleton Tattoo.